All right guys, welcome back to the channel. We are at Studio B Bettinardi here in Chicago, Illinois. We are gonna go through a full fitting today. We're gonna start here on the putting green. We're gonna do a putter fitting. Then we're gonna go in and do some irons. This video is gonna be our putter fitting. I'm gonna drop another video with the irons, and then we're gonna put them all together. We're gonna have a full fitting video as well. Be sure to drop a like on this one. Be sure to hit that subscribe. Let's get right into this one. Enjoy the video. All right guys, so we're here with Nick. He is there. Are you the master fitter?
What are you? Lead fitter.
The lead fitter here. We're going to start with the putter. We got the Queen Bee number 6 here, standard specs. So dead standard. We're going to hit a few putts. We're going to see how it looks, how my arc looks, how the ball roll looks, all that kind of stuff.
So what our process here is, first thing that we're going to do is we're going to start off with the putting stroke analysis. Right? We're going to get you on 2 different camera angles through V1. Camera on the wall is going to let us pull some metric data. So your eye line in relationship to the ball to confirm the right length for you. Shaft angle going into the ground to give us an idea as to where the right lie angle is for you at this length.
Right.
Right. Obviously, as we change length of putter, the lie angle is going to change.
Yep.
But assuming that this length makes sense for you, we'll see exactly where your lie angle needs to be. It makes everything a little bit easier going forward.
For sure.
This camera down here is where we're really going to get to dive into what's going on with the putting stroke. So we're going to get to see where you're aiming, where on the face the ball is sitting at address, you know, where that lie angle needs to get adjusted to, get that confirmation from that shaft angle number, and then we're going to see your arc and your face rotation.
Okay.
So then from there, we're going to pull a number of different options down, just a couple different feels, a couple different visuals. One of the things that we really like here at Bettinardi that separates us from a lot of other companies is we have a series of different face firmnesses. So figure out if you like something softer, something firmer, whatever it might be.
Right.
Starting off with Queen Bee, that's on the firmer end of our putter lineup.
Okay.
So, you know, you're going to hear a little bit more audio feedback, a little bit different feel to some of the other models that we're going to hit.
Right.
But we're going to spend a little bit of time with some different styles.
Okay.
Ultimately, once we find that one that you look at me and you say, Nick, this is the one.
Right.
Then we're going to take that onto this program right here, which is called Quintec. Quintec's a launch monitor for putting.
Gotcha.
So this is where we're going to really see the angle that you're launching the ball at, find that window of consistency. We're going to see the type of spin that you put onto it. Here we really put an emphasis on creating correct forward rotation.
Gotcha.
You know, we want to make sure that we're getting more forward rotation than we're getting side spin. Obviously, it'd be great to see as little side spin as possible, but it's more important that your side spin exists in a consistent window.
Perfect.
But by the time we're done with all of this, we'll know the right putter for you, the length, the loft, the lie. We'll be able to build it for you, and you'll have it.
Perfect.
It's a pretty good experience for us.
Yeah, that's definitely, because what most people don't know, you go grab a putter off the rack, it's going to have standard specs, and that loft or lie may not be exactly what you need, which may cause you to miss putts. So getting a putter fitting is huge if you can get one.
You know, we've done hundreds of fittings since the studio's opened.
Right.
Almost never is someone in a dead standard putter.
Yeah.
You know, for whatever it is, you know, loft, lie, length, whatever, most people are playing an incorrect putter. So it's always fun to go through after a fitting and see, hey, this is where you were and this is where we got you. But yeah, what I'm gonna have you do, roll these 4 putts. You're gonna have about 45 seconds to hit all of them.
Okay.
So you don't need to rush, but you know, can't take too much time. Let me hit record real quick.
Yep.
Send it and we'll talk about it. You're good.
It's almost wanting to break right. It might be, again, my side spin or something.
There's a tiny amount of it, but what's going to be interesting is I think we're going to see pretty quickly, at least visually what I'm seeing, is I think that you've got a little bit of a right aim bias.
Okay. Again, from my eye, it looks like I'm right down the line, but my eyes are off because I'm aimed right. Yeah, you can see right there on that video.
Yeah, already at the right edge.
I'm right edge of the putt of the hole. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then just even before we get too far into what's going on here, that is really influenced by your eye line. It's influenced by ball position. It's influenced even by the aim line on the putter.
Right.
You know, I'm someone I can't aim a back line on a putter. So I'm someone who I use a top line or I use no line. When I put a back line on a putter, I'm a cup and a half right every single time. Something I didn't know until I started experimenting.
Right.
Right. But we'll see where we fall in for you. So I always like to start off on this left side, talking about that posture, getting that metric data so we know where we're going into this. Right. So we're going to take this right before the stroke starts and right there. So from a setup perspective, everything's really solid, as honestly I expect it to be. You know, your weight's working forward, it's not working backwards onto your heels, nice and tall spine angles. So from a posture perspective, I've got nothing really to critique or to adjust for you. So that lets us pull straight into your eye line. So right here, down 90 degrees. At a 35-inch putter, your eyes are intersecting right on the inside heel of the putter face, which is in our go zone. Right, the go zone for us is going to be directly on top of the golf ball to right where your eye line is sitting, which is on the heel of the putter. Somewhere in that zone is going to be completely acceptable. Now, realistically, if we go a half-inch shorter, nothing else in your setup changes, you're just going to get that little bit closer to the golf ball, get your eyes a little bit more on top of it.
Right.
So 34.5 does make a lot of sense for you.
Okay, so this is 35.
This is 35.
Okay.
Yep. So this is 35. When we're here, we do our standard fittings off of 33, 34, 35, depending on the putter model.
Yep.
Generally, with Queen Bee, it's a 33 or a 35.
Okay.
So we know that this could probably be, a half-inch shorter for you, just to really pull your eyes directly over the top of the golf ball. But otherwise, just really, really solid. So that second piece of data that we're going to pull is this shaft angle. So straight down into it, coming in, 69 is going to be your more correct number as opposed to even 71 or 70.
Okay.
Very, very subtle. It's, you can see over here, it's not a lot of movement where the line goes that far off. It's a little bit difficult at times to just see 1 degree, but we do like to match things up to that shaft angle. Okay. So early on, we're in a really good spot right here. So as we start watching some putts roll from this camera angle, I'm less paying attention to, at this moment, exactly what's going on with the putter head. I'm more paying attention to what's going on with your body to see if that creates any inconsistencies or any issues that we've got going on. Right. So as we take this guy back, you are really stable. You are really quiet. I like a lot of what I'm looking at right here. But as I'm sure you're probably looking at, you're probably paying a little bit of attention to that putter face right now. Right. Right. So as you take this back, if we focus in on that for a second, putter hugs that blue line that I've drawn right here. So there's not really a lot of natural arc in your putting stroke by any means. Right. Not a lot of face rotation either. You can see that face is still pointing pretty close to right down that line. And then as we take this and send it through, also releasing right down the line, maybe a little bit of a kick out on the outside right there, a little bit of draw spin. But like we've talked about, you're a little bit of a right edge aimer. So probably straight down your actual aim line as opposed to the target line. Structurally, though, man, it's solid. You got a good move right here. Right. It might be interesting, just as an experiment, to see if we do put a little bit of toe hang in your hand. Maybe that'll help that face close down a little bit more. Just a hair, yeah. Just a hair. But realistically, as we know, the starting point's going to be that aim point. So we're going to get right over here, right before you hit this first putt. If I draw a line right up the back of this putter, you can see we're outside right all day long. So as we but the good thing is, center of the putter face, everything apart from a little bit of that open face on that aim is really squared up nicely. So as you take this away, we're now going to be paying attention over here to how your putter is responding to this line as opposed to the target line. Right. So as you take this guy back, got a little bit high. That I felt that in the first one. I didn't see it in the other three, so I'm kind of ignoring that. That would ignore that, because that's my tendency sometimes. Just a little bit up and out. Just a little bit up, kind of up and out. Yeah. Interestingly, with left-hand low, that is a tendency that we do see. Is it? Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people that go with left-hand low get a little bit of a hinge. I've been going back and forth between left-hand low and the claw, but we've decided that left-hand low is probably what's best for me. It's just I've been doing that the longest. So. Yeah. If it works, it works. It's our job to get you into something that works for your stroke. So I do like how you roll these putts, but like I said, we're probably going to ignore this first one just a little bit. A little bit of that's actually more of that path, and you can see that kind of kick out after the hit, almost trying to save it a little bit. But we'll kind of move through that first one and then get back into it. So second putt, got a little bit better on that aim, more inside right on this one, but we're still out over there a little bit. Yep. We're going to take it back, much more neutral at this point. If I was to make one critique, I don't necessarily love seeing the putter get that high on the backswing. Keep it lower in the backswing. It's going to tend to promote a little bit of a downward strike on the ball, which creates backspin. Right? That's not quite what we're looking for. But coming through, see that club starting to drop down a little bit. At impact, you can see that little bit of face rotation at the very end, trying to save it to where this is getting squared up better. Right. But in the relationship, you can see that backspin out the gate too. Yep. A little bit of backspin, throwing that ball a little bit offline. Ultimately, the good thing is you're hitting this right up your aim line. Right. Just a little bit of fade off of it. Good news is, realistically, your stroke is calling for something that stays in a face balanced or a single bend type of a concept.
Right.
I'm a believer in toe hang personally, my own personal preference, so I always like to see what happens if we throw just a little bit in there.
Right.
I think it helps people not hit pushes on the assumption that they're not trying to manipulate that club face and control it. But biggest thing for you, actually, as I watch this, it's going to be working a little bit on that angle of attack as we neutralize your aim
try and
line.
keep it lower in the backswing.
Keep it a little bit lower. Put a little bit of backspin off the face here, which is going to almost always throw the ball a little bit more offline than forward spin will. But real consistent on where you aim, just a little bit of a tight window to be hitting an optimal launch condition.
Right.
So, long and short of it is your putting stroke does stay face balanced. That's the general news of it.
Right.
But I'm an experimenter.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to put face balance things in your hands. We're going to try a couple different concepts.
Okay.
We might be surprised today.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. So, for the moment, I'm going to take this guy from you, and we're going to walk over here. We're just going to talk about the differences in these putters. Like I mentioned at the very beginning, one of the things that I like about Bettinardi is that we have different face firmnesses and different feels.
Right.
So if I grab a putter from each of our primary families, I'm going to leave the Innovays down here because the studio stocks and the Innovays have the same face milling on them.
Okay.
So I don't need to hold 4 putters. But if I grab these 3, you can see 3 totally different face millings.
Right.
Right, so the long and short of it is the more metal that you take out of the face on a steel-faced putter, the less of the club face is actually interacting with the golf ball.
Okay.
So it dampens that energy transfer a little bit, creates a different sound, creates a little bit of a different feel.
Right.
So if you run your fingers, I'm going to set them in this order right here because that's our natural order. Across that face, it's really on the surface, right?
Yep.
We're not getting too far deep into that face. BB series, more of that traditional fly mill.
Right.
Ours is slightly altered. We call this a perpetual fly mill.
Okay.
So the grooves are a little bit wider, a little bit more spaced out than your traditional fly mill.
Gotcha.
Creates more of a perfect medium between our softer and our firmer faces.
Okay.
And then studio stock, I'm going to have you run your fingers down these grooves so you can feel we're really getting into the face.
Yeah,
there.
it's deeper. Yeah, for sure.
So totally different feels, totally different performances. Long and short of it is, I call this pace 0, meaning this is our softest face in our production lineup.
Okay.
I call this guy pace +4,
Okay.
meaning the exact same putting stroke, exact same speed. This face should roll out about 4 inches more.
Okay.
And then this guy's pace +8.
Okay.
So a really good stepping on face firmnesses.
Right.
As someone who likes to putt a little bit smoother, not like to hit my putts super hard, I do play a firmer face. It lets me get the ball to the hole without feeling like I've got to work too hard.
Yeah, I got you.
So everyone finds a different feel. A big part of this is figuring out what you like. But generally speaking, your world is going to be in these single bend shafts.
Okay.
So that would be, a BB or a Queen B6. That'd be, we'll call it a studio stock 16, a little bit of a rounded mid mallet.
Right.
We have a face balanced mallet or face balanced blade in the studio stock 9, a little bit of a wider bodied blade, a little bit of a flared toe, has a good look to it.
Yeah.
And then a BB 28. A little bit of a slot back blade, kind of same concept as the Studio Stock 9, a little bit more mass behind it to give you a little bit of forgiveness.
Right.
And then our Innovay line.
Okay.
So we have 4 different head shapes in the Innovays, 4 different neck styles for all of them. So we can use whatever toe hang we need in any of the shapes. So if you are a mallet guy, let's talk about which shape we like and maybe work off of that a little bit.
Okay.
If we want to hit all 4 of them, we can definitely hit all 4 of them.
Okay.
But then the experiment that I'm going to throw into you a little bit is we're going to look at a couple of slant necks.
Okay.
Slant necks are the next step up on that toe hang category. So just a little bit of toe hang, a little bit of natural face
That's what
rotation.
my other putter is.
Okay.
The one that I used to use back in the day was the slant neck. It
Okay.
was, and then they moved me into the single bend.
Yeah.
So.
And like we said, your putting stroke itself does say face balanced.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put a couple of these out just to experiment. But what I want to do first is I want to figure out a face firmness for you.
Okay.
Now the last thing that we haven't talked about yet is our new series, the Antidote.
Right.
So our antidotes, the entire concept is 0 torque.
Okay.
Right. So the long and short of it, to maybe oversimplify it a little bit, regardless of your arc, regardless of your path, the club face is going to want to stay square.
Okay.
So a lot of times we see side spin go away. Even for me as a draw putter, my side spin's gone with these guys.
Oh wow.
But like we talked about, I rely on my draw.
Yeah.
That's how I see everything.
Yep.
So part of this is going to be, maybe this is that concept for you. Maybe this is something that's going to be different enough from all of these. Very different performance feel might be the answer for us.
Okay.
But we have the SB2, which is our mallet, and we have the SB1, which is the blade. So we've got 2 concepts, 2 styles to look at. A lot of it's visual. I like a mallet, I like a blade. We'll find out. But realistically, as a starting point, we're going to pull face balance putters. Once we find that face feel that you like, then I'm going to pull a couple of slant necks, and we're just going to see how performance changes between the two of them.
Sounds good.
Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, so this is really the part in the process where I'm kind of shutting up for a little bit.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to watch you hit some putts. We're just going to have a conversation, right? I want you to tell me what you like, what feels speaking to you more, what visual speaking to you more, whether it's square, rounded, larger, smaller, whatever it is, right? Your feedback is as important as anything that I'm going to try to tell you today.
Right.
One of the answers I like to give people a lot of the time, or things I like to tell people a lot of the time, by me, all of these are correct answers.
Yeah.
Right, and potentially some slant necks are correct answers.
Right.
But as far as it goes for me, I love all of these for you.
Yep.
You've got to figure out which one you love for you.
I got you. So start with any of them?
Whatever
we just
order.
did this one.
Yep, we started off with that guy. If you want to hit a couple more just to remember the feel of it and then start comparing feels to other putters.
Okay.
Absolutely. If you want to start on a different putter and you know, just work your way through it.
Something I think I'll like. I can definitely feel that that's already softer.
Yeah.
The sound's a little softer as well. I'm trying to work on keeping that head lower in the backswing too.
And then as much as we are not instructing here necessarily,
yeah.
We'll give a pointer or two here and there. But what I'm looking at you right now where I wasn't quite paying attention over there is your entire body is actually a little bit shut right now.
Like this way?
Yep, just a little bit. I'd love to see you just open up
move.
everything just a smidge, because I think that's actually what's influencing your aim and your path out to that right a little bit.
Is it still aimed right?
That instantly changed everything.
Okay. I need to get me a putting mirror.
Totally different.
Yep.
Totally different.
It felt a little wobbly, but the come through felt okay.
Yeah. Got you back into the same spot.
So one thing I can tell you already is this grip. My hands are a little sweaty, and it feels slick.
Okay. So maybe a rubber grip's not the answer for you.
Like I like that grip better. This feels more.
Little bit more tact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to know. Good thing is we got a ton of grip options.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to see one. This is obviously a little thicker, so I wanted to see how that felt.
Turned around and shut right back down on me.
Did I?
You did.
I tried to open it.
It's what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, it's
right?
just
we always go back to our old tendencies.
So is that better there?
That's better right there for sure.
Yep, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
No wonder I can't putt, dude.
Sometimes you just need a second set of eyes.
I do like the softer feel as of right now. I like it a little bit, but I mean.
So I'm going to grab another putt. I'm going to switch you out. I'm going to put an Innovate 6 in your hand.
Okay.
With the specific reason of I'm looking at a top line.
Okay.
I'm curious how that changes your aim.
Okay.
Right? You know, most people only know putters with a back line. We've never really seen putters with a top line.
Right.
But it changes everything in aim.
Does that look good as far as the lineup?
Yes.
Okay. Slight push still.
I will give you your credit. You are taking that putter back lower now as well.
I'm trying.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm trying also to, and something else I've been working on is almost lifting the putter slightly on when I feel like I'm coming through to kind of help that hitting up on the golf ball.
A little bit healed on that one?
Little. Feels pretty good.
Yeah. So,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, you know, even though the Studio Stock and the Innovate are the same face milling, the MOI change going into the mallet does create a little bit of a different feel as well. And I was wondering if you feel that as too. To me, they're distinctively different, even though they're the same face milling.
As far as the feel you're saying?
Yeah,
of the ball?
I feel personally when I'm rolling a Studio Stock, it feels admittedly more my style. I'm a blade guy traditionally.
Right.
But it almost feels, for lack of a better word, denser in a sense.
Yeah,
like
yeah. I can kind of feel
feels a little
that.
bit more solid to me.
I do feel that. And these are all 35s, is that right?
All 35s
Okay.
should be.
That was just a push.
See, I'm gonna actually jump ship real quick from everything that I told you I was gonna do, and I'm gonna go a little bit of a different route. What does that do for you? So same exact head. This is a mini plumber's neck.
Okay.
So it has a little bit less toe hang than a traditional plumber's neck. But I'm curious what happens if I put a full shaft of offset and give you a little bit more face rotation. I don't want you to do anything different. Keep being you.
Okay.
I see that putter releasing better.
Right.
You know, seeing it's
Definitely hitting straighter.
definitely straighter. That one also
Push.
to me looked like a little bit of a heel strike.
Yeah, it was just a little.
And if I was, the more I watch you hit putts, that's what I would say, if anything, your tendency is.
Which, does that have anything to do with being a 35-inch, or would that be opposite?
You know, it could definitely have that influence. So let me take that from you for a second. And let's go into the BB face, right? The one that you haven't hit yet. Because we started off firm, but then we went to soft.
This is the middle
This is middle.
Okay. That just took off right.
That's straight right. That was straight right.
It's a ball position thing. Still just push, push, push.
Yeah. That right there is kind of why I put that plumber's neck into your hand right away. It's like I feel like I see this putter face just staying open on you.
Right.
Even that is just right off the face. It's already.
It's just right.
It's already over
I
there.
don't feel like it's. And is it still aimed okay?
You're aiming. I mean, it's inside right to right. You know, center right.
I also tend to have a forward press. Most of the time I have a forward press, and I'm not doing it right now for whatever reason. So let's try and get a little more comfortable, and because that forward press may close down the face just a hair.
Should. It's also for sure going to help promote some more forward rotation.
Still just a slight push. What are you doing, dude? Right.
Let's try that.
Okay. People watching this video are gonna be like, dude, this guy sucks. Why am I watching
We just
this?
won't use the GoPro anymore.
Yeah, like, dude, I made every single one of these.
But you're rolling it over the exact same.
It's the same putt. It's just,
Yeah.
I'm just got a slight push for whatever reason.
You were so square for a second, and then right before you started that putt, you opened that face up just
Like with the forward press opened it, you think?
It
Or
might have been in that press, but
what
yeah,
is that?
just right at the very end, that thing opened. How far left did you feel like you were aiming that one?
I mean, compared to normal,
Yeah.
feels like I'm aiming like left edge right here.
Okay, because you are dead center right there.
That was an outside to in
That
stroke.
was just a pull.
Yeah. I do feel like this neck feels at least like it's coming off better.
Haven't seen the pull, or
Yeah.
haven't seen the push. We saw that one little outside loopy path pull,
Right.
but from a visual perspective, where you what's
As far
your
as the
brain
neck?
telling you? Yeah, like thinking
I
neck.
like it. I mean, like I said, I had this in my putter beforehand, so it's not something that it looks like foreign to me or anything. They're definitely coming off straighter, it feels like. I've also adjusted my aim a little bit to aim, pretty much feel like I'm aiming left
Yeah,
edge.
I'm seeing that too because you're aiming so good right now.
Amazing what happens when you get your alignment right. Start making
Lesson number
putts.
1 for any of the beginners out there.
Yep.
If you're aiming wrong, everything else is a mistake.
That felt a little pulley, but
just a little bit.
Still not bad.
But I'd rather see that than that kind of open-faced heely push. I liked that roll a lot.
Yeah, I felt a little skid at the beginning, but that was just a little bit of that, like you said, that attack angle.
From a face perspective, is there a feel that was
as far
speaking
as
to you at all?
The firmness?
Yeah.
I like the softer, I think.
Okay.
So either the Studio Bs, is that what these are?
The Studio Stock?
Yeah.
Or the Innovate, or even the Antidote.
Yeah, but we haven't tried that.
I haven't rolled the Antidotes yet.
Let's see what the center shaft feels like. How's the stroke look with this?
It looks good.
That was a slight push. I felt the face being open just slightly. That one too.
That last one for sure was aim.
Yeah.
Again, that was the same little thing that I saw right at the very end. There's that little wobble where that face opened up on you.
Right.
But
stroke-wise, looks pretty good.
I'm intrigued by that for you. Hit those 5, and then I'm going to.
And this milling is going to be the same, like you said, as the Studio Stock?
This one is a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Just a little bit deeper, but in terms of a feel, that same profile. That was the best putting stroke that you've given me today.
Yeah, it felt pretty good.
Whatever you felt right there,
do it again.
Memorize that, remember that.
Okay. That probably would have made it that bowl.
Yeah, that was definitely going to be sneaking in there.
Feels pretty good.
Of the ones that I've watched you hit to this point, obviously the results speak for themselves a little bit, but I see a lot more stability in the actual move itself,
right?
Not just the roll.
And like I said, I was with that other company, that center shaft and, that angle balance, that other company that we won't mention. So maybe that's, I've been putting with that for a while. So maybe it's just.
Well, as someone who's got some experience with that brand,
yeah.
What do you think feel-wise?
I I can definitely tell this. I can feel it on my backstroke. It just feels like, again, it's staying square instead of where you have that toe balance or whatnot. It's going to feel like it's kind of pivoting open and then pivoting closed. This one, you can definitely feel it's just like a straight back, straight through.
Is that a better feel for you, or is that?
Like I said, with having putting with those in the last, I'd say, year and a half maybe, it just is a familiar feel, I would say.
That's a good way to describe it. Right away with this one, you're going to notice a lot more onset.
Right.
Right, that shaft is a lot further behind the club head on this one.
Yep.
Which for you is actually an intriguing concept of maybe that's going to square the face up just a little bit better.
Right. Slight pull, maybe?
Very slight. Very slight. With the SB2, I found as someone who likes to play a lot more loft and really press it,
yep.
Really shouldn't be doing it with the SB2. Just because that shaft is so far back, we don't need to force a press in. Right? Having the hands ahead is still a good thing, but we don't need to try to really make a press happen.
Yeah. I think these feel better as far as face control. I feel like I have face control for sure. Like with the other ones, like you said, the face control is more up to the putter.
Yeah.
Obviously, I feel like I have more face control because there is no real face control.
There's no rotation, right?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So
I think that, even just visually, just watching you hit these, they're
coming off.
I would gear you into one of the antidotes.
Right.
Now,
as far as looks, this one's obviously a little blockier. I don't mind it, but I think I like the offset on this one is a little much, I think, for me.
Just a little more than you might want to see.
Yeah, well, like I said, for those of you that are watching, everybody has a trigger that start to putt, start to swing, whatever, my trigger is my forward press. It's just like Phil Mickelson, before he hits a putt, he pushes, and that's how, Ricky Fowler hovers his putter right before he hits. It's just, and with this, like you're saying, you don't really need to force the forward press. So by not doing it, it just feels off. I mean, I'm putting well with it.
Okay, you're making putts with it, but then you're making putts with the SB1 as well.
Another thing I like on this one too is that front line. It's not your typical front line. It's about the width of a golf ball.
Yep.
Which I feel like helps you, center up your golf ball that way. Instead of trying to find the center of the golf ball with the line, you have the line on the back that finds the center, and then you kind of check, okay, is the edge of the golf ball right on the top and whatever. Yeah, it's coming off so much better, I feel like. I just feel like when I have my little forward press, my stroke just feels smoother.
I don't disagree with that. Fun how quickly you've over-adjusted your aim, though.
Yeah, it's...
Because those last three, all three of those missed the exact same spot, and it's exactly where you started aiming on me.
Right.
And obviously when you're hitting 100 putts in here, it gets a little bit repetitive, but...
Right. But I mean,
you've not missed.
It's been left edge or left center almost every putt.
You've not missed your aim line with that putter in your hand a single time.
Yeah, and like I said, it feels good.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds to me like we're on the same page that this is probably the putter for you.
It seems like it. Yeah, everything feels really good. It's obviously. No, I'm starting to miss everything right.
We're starting to chat a little bit more again. The focus is going.
But I've also.
Like that right there.
That was a good one.
The move to remember was that right there.
Yeah.
Let's take this guy to Quintec.
Okay.
Feel good about that?
Yep. See what we're doing with the golf ball, actually.
Let's get some data. Quintec, a little bit slower. I'm going to set the ball down each time.
Okay.
I'll let you know when you're good to hit your putt.
Okay.
As a feel perspective, the one thing that I want you to think about for me is I want you to feel from a pace perspective like we're going to be dying it into that cup.
Dying it in the cup?
Dye it into that cup. We're looking for a 4.5 to 5 mile an hour ball speed, which is generally speaking that diet in speed.
Okay. I can do that. A little bit of a push, but...
A little bit of a push.
How's the speed? Was it speed okay?
Actually, slightly too soft.
Oh, really? Okay, so a little more than that.
We can put a little bit more. Now, 4.21 is going to be okay.
Okay.
Right? If we're a little bit off in that optimal zone, we're still going to be okay, but we have to understand when we're below that zone, maybe we're going to see a little bit more forward rotation.
Okay.
Right? When we're above that zone, we might see a little bit less forward rotation.
Okay.
But as we talk through these numbers, obviously we see a lot of green. Green is good.
Green's good.
So for a launch angle, your optimal launch angle is going to be somewhere between 1 to 2 degrees.
Okay.
Right? Generally speaking, the lower the launch angle is in that window, the more forward spin we're going to create, and vice versa. Because I live and die by that forward spin.
Okay.
So the two big things about forward spin: one, we're looking for a good player, we're looking for 25 to 55, maybe up into a little bit more.
So I'm on the green, but on the low end of green, probably.
Low end, but where this ends up
That's
being...
the first putt, too. Yeah.
And where this ends up being okay is the reason that we want that additional forward spin is because it's about the relationship of forward spin to side spin.
Right.
Right on that putt right there, 2 RPMs, little bit of cut spin, kind of like we were seeing on the video, little tiny bit of cut spin, but your forward spin's outworking it on a, 13 to 1, 13 and a half to 1 relationship. So effectively, fantastic putt.
Okay.
Right, and all of that culminates down in your true roll number. True roll is the time that it takes for the ball to get onto its axis rolling perfectly.
Okay.
Right, we're looking for that to be inside of 2 feet.
Okay.
So 16 inches is really solid.
Right.
So if I sit down right here and I hit play on this putt, and we hide that for a second, you're going to really be able to see this ball roll, right? So
starts to roll about a couple inches.
Starts moving pretty quickly, right? We've got effective forward rotation right away because we've got that forward spin.
Right.
But you can see that little bit of launch right off the face where that ball tries to get a little bit up in the air.
Yep.
So we can absolutely even add in maybe a little more of that press if you wanted to, or do anything like that to influence launch angle.
Right.
Because as that launch angle gets lower, we should see that forward spin even pick up a little bit more.
Okay. I can do that.
All of that makes sense?
Yep.
All right.
It does. So a little more, just tiny
bit more speed for
Okay.
me. So, You can see what happens if we maybe hit down on the ball a little bit
harder,
right?
Yeah.
Did you feel like I mean, also a lot more speed.
Yeah, it was a little more speed. You can see I got some red numbers there. Still, it's got some backspin. And that time I had just a little bit of hook spin.
A little bit of hook spin.
Yeah.
Good news is anything inside of 5 RPMs on either side.
But that's the speed you're looking for, right?
That's the speed.
Okay.
But the way that you achieved it was through an over acceleration.
Yeah.
Right? If we're going to geek out for a split second and talk about really what we're looking for here, we don't really ever need more than 1 to 1.5 miles an hour of acceleration.
Right.
Whether we're hitting an 8-foot putt, whether we're hitting a 30-foot putt.
Right. It's just
it's all about a
backswing.
maintaining of tempo or a length of backswing, whichever way you do it.
Right.
But what does acceleration do? Full swing and in putting, it compresses the golf ball.
Yep.
Compression creates backspin.
Okay.
Also, it tends to create a higher launch angle. So the more that we can keep things smooth and really find a little bit of consistency in that acceleration, that's when we're going to start creating a little more of an optimal roll. But a lot of this is seeing where our windows are.
Right.
That to me was, we're still experimenting out a little bit. We're feeling this out some. So we're going to hit a couple more putts before I'm really even thinking about anything too hard.
That felt better.
Better.
Little launch angle, but.
Tell you what though, 2 of your 3 putts have been very, very similar.
Right.
Right. We have that one that we're going to look at as maybe not the best putt.
Right.
We all have them.
Yep.
But 2 putts, very, very similar. What we're also seeing is the effect of a zero torque putter, no side spin.
Yeah.
Right?
Virtually none.
Virtually none.
Yeah.
Especially when you then add in the forward spin that we're putting onto it, and again, that ratio that we're creating, you're doing really, really good right here.
Okay. A little more speed, but.
Yeah, a little softer there. But again, generally speaking, across the board,
Pretty green.
your numbers are pretty green.
Yeah.
Numbers are pretty green. What is good to know as well is we, apply this into you as a player, right? We've already talked about a little bit of your tendencies. We maybe get a little bit high on the way back. So the fact that you still create really good launch and forward spin conditions, even if we get maybe slightly too high, is a good thing.
Okay.
Right? If we are looking to maximize forward rotation, right? Maybe to get to a point of overspinning it. There's 2 ways to do that, right? A positive angle of attack while maintaining loft off of a club, but it's also strike point, right? If we hit a golf ball on the low half of the golf ball, it's always going to promote some backspin.
Yep.
We hit the dead center, it's going to push into forward.
So
we hit center high, whether it be through an angle of attack, whether it be through the loft on the club face, or just general, work on strike point. If we can hit slightly above the equator of the golf ball with the sweet spot of the putter, that's going to start getting us some more forward spin.
Right. And that can be achieved with either adjusting my stroke slightly or ball position by a quarter of an inch.
Exactly.
Or not even.
Let's experiment a little bit. Because we know from a realistic standpoint, this putter makes perfect sense for you.
Right.
Right. So now this is just a little bit of us having some fun.
Yep, for sure. All right, let's try and move it just slightly up in my stance and see what happens.
See,
Kind of hopped, but
that's right away.
Backspin.
Moved it up in your stance. That putter got up in the air, and you tried to get to it.
Yeah.
So do that same thing. Keep that ball forward, but let's actually have a different conversation. Let's talk about weight.
Yeah.
Right. If we're going to play a forward ball position, we still need our center of gravity to be on the golf ball.
Right.
Right. So for you, if you move that ball position forward, your weight stayed in the exact same spot. Suddenly, you're hitting a driver.
Yeah.
Right. So that's going to really fly up on you.
Right.
We can't maintain the loft on the club face. We have to release it while trying to hit up on it. That's where that came from. So if you do,
the launch angle went up, but they still had backspin quite a bit of it.
Had a good amount of backspin.
Yeah.
Impressively, still no side spin really to be seen.
Yeah. And then you said that's probably due with the putter face and the type of putter.
So see what happens for me if you give me like 65, 70% of your weight on your lead side.
Okay.
And then try to roll it.
Okay.
So there.
Still a little high launch angle, but.
So what we've just learned from you, forward ball position is not your answer.
Yeah. Better?
Yeah. And what we have to know there, right? We missed that right with 0 side spin.
Yeah. So that was an alignment issue.
That is an alignment issue.
Yeah.
Perfectly square face to path.
Yeah.
Just out to the right. And even so, I'll even say this, take a step further. Looking at your aim there, your aim was not bad, everything
stroke.
got
a little
halfy,
little whippy, yeah.
a little bit around, right? We
Yep.
talked about that at the very beginning, that we have that tendency. That tendency creates a very, very square-faced push.
Right.
Ultimately, we see green is good, we think we hit a great putt.
Yeah.
That, to me, is a little bit of a miss hit for you,
Right.
even though it's still all good.
But yeah, it's better as far as forward spin,
Yeah.
launch ankles down.
Very efficient roll.
Yeah.
It's a very
Just
efficient
a
roll.
push.
Just a push.
Yep.
Here's your piece right here. Look at where we're striking that golf ball.
Too low.
Low.
Yeah.
You struck that low.
Okay. That half inch of 34 and a half.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Bring me up just a little bit, right?
So choke down just a little bit on that guy.
Okay.
Right, get a little bit of that just because I don't have that 34 and a half demo.
That felt better.
That sound had a little bit of
Still.
an interesting sound to it. Right away, you kind of heard me say that sound.
Yeah. I'm just gonna feel like I almost,
Top it.
yeah, like I almost stand up a little bit through impact
Yeah.
is what I'm thinking. Just feel like I'm almost lifting my chest slightly. I'm also gonna try and hover, like maybe point, hover, and then better forward spin, a little higher.
Getting closer. Getting closer.
Little experiments, like you said.
Little pulley right there.
Yeah. Still hit down on it. Damn, I feel like I'm hitting the top of the golf ball.
Can I grab a 33?
Try it. I'm into it. All right, guys. So we switched to a 33, thinking that it might help me basically pull up a little bit and hit the top of this golf ball instead of the bottom or the middle. So let's see what.
Do you feel like you shrunk yourself into that a little bit more?
I did.
I don't want you to do that.
I don't. Yeah.
I want you to keep your same posture. I want you to think arm hang.
Yeah. Just
Right?
lower my arms. Everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, that phase control is so consistent, dude.
Yeah. There's no side spin.
It never is there.
So that was a decent putt then.
That was a much better putt. Everything about that is good. 33 even might be too short for you.
Right.
Right, but I'm fairly certain that 35's too long the more I watch you hit putts.
Right. Well, they're starting to roll better forward roll wise.
I think 33 is a little short for you.
So maybe instead of 34 and a half,
I
maybe
would
just
say
34?
Even 34 is the more I watch you hit putts, just kind of seeing where you're getting into, I'm very good with that. But dude, I will say, again, that one right there,
I hit higher on the ball there, but I guess it's just that high club face in the back.
yeah, little bit hard to see, but it is just a little bit of a downward angle of attack there.
Yeah. That's another thing I got to work on. So basically I need to work on keeping it lower here and coming up through.
Especially because we just made 4 in a row. And
Yeah. That's good. 33, yeah.
Did you feel the difference in your stroke right there?
I felt it because what I did was I felt stay low here and then come up here, and it just, that thought is what
Absolutely.
helps it.
Last piece of that I want to make sure stays in your mind here, right? We're low and we're staying low while maintaining shaft lean.
Right.
Right. We
don't want to add loft.
Release it this way and add loft.
Right.
Because then we're going to start seeing backspin anyway.
Right. You want to, if you do a forward press, keep that angle basically until you release.
We fit people who are 30 handicaps. We fit people who are professional athletes. Right. When I have a 30 handicap come in, and the biggest things that you see for your everyday golfer that I would say self-diagnose is weight gets too far back.
Yep.
Hands get back. And there's a lot of rotation, or there's a lot of wrist breakdown when we're adding left, right? So when that higher handicap comes in here, there might be a little bit more of, hey, we want to fit you to your putting stroke, but we need to adjust the putting stroke a little bit. Right? We've got to get set up for success.
For sure.
So the amount that I have seen change in an hour for someone who describes himself as a horrible putter to walk out of here rolling numbers that are better than my Quintec numbers.
Yeah.
You know, like we talked about, I draw my putts.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so guys, you know, I sometimes get hung up on that. But I have seen people go from being bad putters who launch the ball at 4.5 to 5, where you get them into the right putter, or with backspin, a lot of side spin, you get them into the right lie angle, you get them into the right loft, you get them into the right length and right head style. I've seen that same guy walk out of here an hour later launching it at 1.2 with 30 forward spin and minimal side spin.
Right, and that shows how important the fitting can be. Like you said, there's a whole bunch of going and buying one straight off the rack is, like you said, 9 out of 10 people are not going to be spec'd out to be standard specs. So highly suggest if you're in the area, if you want to make the trip, like we make the trip out here from Dallas, it's already been worth the trip for sure, because this has just been super knowledgeable. Love that we're getting into the right thing, and hopefully it'll translate to the course.
I like 34 for you.
Okay.
I think 35 is too much. This is a little bit too short.
Right.
You know, I see what we're trying to find.
Yeah, kind of. It's
right.
It's,
I don't want.
But I think 34 is.
Start hurting.
No. I think 34. I agree, because I feel like I want to be right on the butt of this, and I think that extra inch will be right there. Will be good.
So you're 34 inches, SB1.
Yeah, I like it.
That's the answer, man.
All right, we're going with the antidote.
He's been
SB1.
Cured. He's been cured. Only other thing that we've got to have a conversation about as it pertains to the antidote is what grip do you want? It's the hardest part of the process.
Yeah, for sure. Let's look at grips real quick.
We got to figure out what grip you want.
Yeah.
So we established going through that process, you don't like the rubber feel.
I don't,
right?
Whatever texture this is, it just doesn't feel like, it felt a little.
The grip that you did like is that right there.
Yep, I like this one.
The cool thing about that is this grip is very literally the deep edge without the edges.
And I like that. I like the look of that. So I would like. And has this got cord in it?
The teal one does have cord. Yes.
Okay, because I like cord. I
do like cord. Yeah.
Irons, they're going to be cord for sure.
Okay.
So I don't know if I've had one on my putter, but cord is something that I would, I do like. But I think these feel good, both of them. I like the pistol grip for sure. So the teal one's the only one that has it, or you can get.
Do we have some other corded options down in Tinley?
So we have green, red, orange.
Okay, let's talk. Let's show those.
Okay.
You get the hookup, man. You get the hookup.
Good deal.
So we can then go into a series of different colors for you.
Okay. There's that Tiffany one up top left too.
Is it up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I was looking for that one.
And Tiffany as well.
So some different colors for you. Those are going to be your win. Kind of a little bit more tacky or a little bit softer grips.
Kind of like my thing is red, white, and blue, which I know you're all American made everything. So I love the red, white, and blue. So what do you think? You like that one? I'm not really an orange guy.
That's an easy one to eliminate.
Yeah, well,
that one in your hand is super cool.
Yeah, I like this one. It's like it's red, but it's got the blue cord in it.
Right,
it's got the blue.
I liked about too. Or the blue with the red. It kind of.
Yeah, it's red. I think we're gonna go with that.
I'll go with that guy right there.
That's the one that.
Perfect.
Yes.
Do you have these? Do you need?
I don't know if I have those, so just in case I'm gonna tell you.
All right.
Guys, it's about a week after this fitting, and they have already sent me my brand new putter. They were able to do some custom work for me, so I'm excited to see it. Let's open it up and see what we got. All right, so first of all, beautiful box of the honeycomb. If you remember from earlier, we went with the Bettinardi cord grip. You can see it's got some blue cord and a red grip. They sent me an extra one. Very nice pistol grip. Went with the chrome shaft. Got the Tour Department sticker there. Got the Tour Department head cover as well. You can see we got the Betty Bombs right there. Betty Bomb, Bettinardi. And here's the Ultimate Reveal. So on the front here, I was able to make this white. Usually comes in blue. And in the bottom, I'm a very red, white, and blue guy. We got milled in the USA, the antidote. And then the back and front lines, we got white there, and then again, Bettinardi in red, white, and blue. Absolutely beautiful putter. So excited to put it in the bag. This is less than a week after that fitting. They were able to get it built and shipped out to me. So guys, that's going to do it for this video. We got the antidote going in the bag, the SB1. Be sure to drop a like on this one. Be sure to hit that subscribe because you don't want to miss out on the next fitting that I had at Studio B Bettinardi, the iron fitting. These irons are insanely good. I promise you, you're going to want to see this. These things are beautiful. So be sure to hit that subscribe because you don't want to miss it. We'll catch you next time.